Hello, Merrimack. Thank you for watching Chattin' with Janine. I'm your host, State Representative Janine Naughter. The trip around the sun went by in a snap. I don't know about you, but it seemed like just yesterday it was Christmas Eve 2021. And now here we are at the end of 2022. It's time for New Year's resolutions. And one of the biggies that everyone chooses is getting into shape, which is always very challenging. And we need motivation for that. So this beautiful lady sitting next to me is our motivation because she lost over 100 pounds. So please welcome Ashley Adler.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming onto the show,
Thank
Ashley.
you for having me.
This is your first time on TV.
It is.
Well, don't worry. It's just looking at me and talking to me, yes. And I don't know who's out there.
All right.
Just us. So.
Sounds good.
So 100 pounds. I want to know how you did that because I know you didn't have surgery.
So I actually did have a surgery.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So it was like 6 years ago. I did end up having a surgery because I have a lot of back issues, a lot of inflammation. They thought I had like rheumatoid arthritis and everything. Couldn't get the weight off of my knees to be able to work out. Tried every angle of working out. And so the weight loss surgery was an option. At first I went through the program and I said, nope, not going to do it. Went through the whole program and it was like, I'm going to do it on my own. And then I talked to somebody that talked me out of that and saying, you know, this is just a tool, weight loss surgery. I mean, there's certain weight loss surgeries, but the one I got, you know, after 6 months, it helps you for about 6 months, get the weight off the knees and stuff, and then you're able to basically move your body a little bit better. So that's what I did. I did the gastric sleeve.
Oh, I was going to ask you if it was the sleeve because I did a show a few years ago with John Burt in Goffstown, and he did the sleeve surgery.
Yep. So I did the sleeve. I know many people that have done it and gained all their weight back, so it was a huge fear of mine. I only had one child at the time, or two, but like one younger one at the time, and knew I wanted another child, so the whole thing was very scary for me, but I ended up getting it done. Got on track with the Peloton. I bought a Peloton bike and worked really hard.
I follow you on Facebook, and I'm like, you're up before dawn every day working out.
Yes.
And I'm like, and I feel like so lazy. Like
I committed to it. So after about 2 months, which I was not familiar with the surgery, is I could eat pretty much what I could eat before. So not a quick fix. I thought it was going to be a little different, but back to old habits I was picking up here and there, and I took a good look at myself in the mirror, and I said, I did this for a reason, and I said, I'm not going back. So I started getting up at 5 a.m., the time that I could, having kids, watching kids. That was my timeline to get my workout in, and I haven't stopped since.
The sleeve, I presume it just goes over the stomach and squeezes
so
it so
the
you can't
sleeve,
eat too
so
much.
yeah, so initially you can't because of the inflammation. So it's like cutting like a part of your stomach out, and yes. So
But do you still get hungry?
Yes. So now what people don't understand is after 6 months of the surgery, they tell you, the surgeon, like your body adjusts and your stomach adjusts and you go back to normal. I can eat full meals like I used to be able to eat. So now it's just mental. Like you have to mentally prepare yourself, as they tell you through classes prior of getting the surgery. It doesn't last forever. It gives you the initial shrinkage, so you're training yourself to eat smaller portions. But if you don't follow suit and you continue to eat larger and larger portions, you will go back to larger portions and it'll be like you never had it.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So before you lost weight, how were you always on the a big size, or
No.
what happened?
So I was always fit, played on like 6 different soccer teams, always a fit person, never had weight problems, and I was a teen mom. So at 18 years old, I had my daughter.
I was too.
Yeah, so the struggle of that, graduating high school, I think I was 6 months pregnant, graduated high school, and just being a single mom and having a child at a young age. I didn't know what the gym was. I didn't know what working out was because I was always on 3, 4, or 5 different soccer teams. I was always active, running, fit. So not knowing about postpartum, I didn't know I had it at the time, but I just continued to gain weight and eating. My habits didn't change, but I wasn't as active because I was raising a child. So I just kept packing on the pounds. And years later, I got to a point where I didn't even recognize myself. And I was like, okay, something's got to give. I have type 2 diabetes at the time. I had my next child, who's Braden. He's 5. And then from having him, I just started gaining more weight. And it was in this spiral that I didn't know how to get out of. I talked to a lot of psychiatrists. They helped me with the mental part. But with everything else, I still had these demons in me that, I'm an emotional eater. So I'm feeling down today. I'm going to emotionally eat. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to grab that. And that was my comfort. And having to train your brain to not do that was where I needed to start. And I didn't know that at the time. So I was like at the gym a couple days a week, doing every fad diet there was possible, and nothing was changing. So when I got that little clue from talking to somebody, and that's where I knew I needed to change things around and start thinking about things differently.
So do you think it's a true statement to say that in order to overcome whatever your fault is, you have to name it? Like you have to admit it to yourself. Like I called some friends and told them, I said, I have an eating problem. Yes. I'll do very well. I'll be the healthiest eater, and then I'll fall off the wagon and I'll binge and I'll eat sugar, and it is 50% mental. And I actually don't know where to go from there. And I've done several shows on this. I used to work at the gym for 10 years. So here I am admitting that I have an eating problem.
Yeah, it's
and
hard.
I don't know what to do. But I think this would be a good time to look at the photos that you sent in, because that does not look like you. Don't recognize you at all. A cute baby
me
though.
Holding Braden, my second child. Yeah.
I mean, look at you. You are absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
I like your dress too.
Thanks.
So can I ask how much you weighed there?
Weighed about 256, I believe, there. And then I went up my highest to 269. And then, then I went all the way down to about 165. And then I had my third child, Cameron. I gained most of my weight back after having him. And then I looked at myself again in the mirror and said, I can't do this again. I got this opportunity and I'm not losing track of it. And I got back into the fitness and I started working out again. And I lost pretty much everything I gained back on my own.
So you have really good legs. So even though you gained all that weight, you didn't destroy your legs.
No, I've always been very strong. With all the weight that I gained, I always stayed pretty active, although it was hard, obviously, with all the weight.
Tell me about this picture.
So my mom has always been an athlete, and my daughter as well. So as soon as I lost the weight, I wanted to start doing 5Ks and mud runs and everything else, terrain races. So this was the first one, and my mom and my daughter joined me. It was a terrain race. We were in the mud. We were climbing ropes. It was a blast, and I love that I have these pictures. I've done a lot of 5Ks with my mom and a lot of runs, and I'm thankful that she's able to do those with me. And we have these pictures to share throughout life.
Is this the Spartan race?
Nope, that was the terrain race. The Spartan race.
See, those are nice legs. You can wear short shorts. I cannot wear short shorts.
Yes, I've always kept my nice legs. I'm thankful for that. Thankful. The rest of me has stretched out with kids and weight and everything else, but
it's hard to believe that's the same person.
Yeah, so that was my biggest, and just looking at the picture, I didn't recognize myself. I wouldn't leave my house. I didn't feel comfortable. I was very embarrassed with how I looked. And then I said a lot of it's mental, a lot of it's finding the right people to surround yourself with. I have a fit and fabulous group of moms that struggle, and we are there together daily, posting our workouts, pushing each other. I mean, this is daily throughout the mornings, nights. We're always there for each other, working out together.
So support, support group.
Yeah, they're
Now,
like the best people.
I used to know somebody in California that was, she gained a lot of weight after her first child, and she had a group like that. Because I remember her telling me, you know, like, before you eat, you're going to call somebody. And I'm like,
Yep. It's the support group. That's what helps push you.
Like, do you get the cravings? Like, I know when I do like cleanses and I give up sugar and I give up all the bad stuff, then I don't have cravings, and then I'm fine. Yep. And I'm fine, and I'm healthy and happy, and I can run better, and then I fall off the wagon. So it's like.
And you know what? I haven't quite figured that out yet. So, I mean, I'm still up and down with that. Like I say, I'm a human being. I give myself grace. I bless and release.
Do you eat cake?
Yes, I eat everything, and I wish I didn't, but I do, especially this time of year. I believe I had pretzels because I was making pretzels with candy on them and stuff. But it had the chocolate. We melted the chocolate. I did the kids' activity this morning. Yes. And I definitely had pretzels with chocolate this morning for breakfast. But
I had a friend stop by and give me a cake pop. So
yeah. Instead of saying that, I always would be like, okay, tomorrow's the day. Tomorrow I'll start. I don't do that anymore. And I say, okay, I ate this, and I said, now we're starting again right now. And then I continue my day doing that instead of binging the rest of the day and then starting fresh the next day, because that never works.
So I saw that you did a Spartan race. So we didn't have a picture, but I saw that you did that, and that you were going to do the one at Killington Mountain. So that one is supposed to be like really hard. Like I'm not even. It is. I used to run marathons, but I've never done one of those.
Yeah. So it's actually one of the hardest races in the United States. I have a lot of history with Killington. We have a condo on Killington. I ski Killington since I was young. My kids go up every winter to ski Killington, and I saw that they had a Spartan race there, and I was like, you know what? I have all this history with Killington. I would love to conquer Killington.
I know somebody else who did that one, and he's got the trifecta. So that means 3 different medals that go together from 3 different events.
Yep. So I have the sprint right now for doing the Fenway Spartan. That was the 5K sprint obstacle, and then this one will be, I believe it's 12K with 30 obstacles, and then the next one top of that I believe is 20K, and it has about 60 obstacles. So that is on my bucket list.
So if you don't make it in the obstacle, you fall in the mud. Is that what happens? Which is why I've never done these.
If you don't make it in the obstacle, you have to do 25 burpees.
Okay, that's where you go down and jump back and jump.
But I guess it depends on where you're taking these races. They're all over the world. So yeah, they do make ones with mud or like whatever. But I know the one at Killington, it's all hill. So that's what makes it the toughest. It's up and down hills constantly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What obstacles do you like? And which ones do you hate?
Obstacles that
I'm like I saw the pictures. I'm like, I don't like any of them.
Yeah, that's the funny thing with me is, you know, I've talked to you before. I don't like running. I do love biking. It's not that I love the obstacles, it's the challenge. Like, I'm addicted to the challenge. I want to see what I can do and complete. I have a climbing rope that my husband just put up in my garage.
All right, Scott.
Because
shout out.
I am going to climb that rope one day. I couldn't at the first Spartan. My goal is to at the next Spartan. I attempt it every day. And I will climb that rope eventually. But for a favorite obstacle, I'm not sure I have a favorite obstacle. But it's just exciting for me to be able to do things that I didn't think I could do and that I can now. So
I know when I was younger, I would, like, if there was something I couldn't do, I would make myself learn how to do it.
Yes.
Like, I was 35 years old and I worked at a gym. I thought I was fit. We had a 2-mile run scheduled, and I didn't make it across the parking lot. Yeah. So I was 35 then, and then I went to the library. I checked out a book, the book on running. I taught myself how to run. I just started with 2 minutes at a time, and then you walk and you run and you walk and you run. And now, I'm not going to say how many years later it's been, but 12 marathons and 13 half marathons or something like that. Those are the medals I have. Then
That's unbelievable.
during COVID, my neighbor, Cindy McLaughlin, I'm going to give her a shout out too, because she's continued this, where we have like a fundraiser where we collect food for the food pantry, and we run laps in our neighborhood. And there's always a prize, whoever runs the most laps or whoever guesses the right amount that we all run. And we do this like once or twice a year now since COVID. And one day I ended up running over 31 miles, because I would go out every 2 hours and run 5 miles and go back in the house and relax and go back in. And I'd never done that before. So I thought, well, if I can do that, I can do the distance of a marathon. Why not? So I did the next month a marathon distance, 26.2. Did it again the following month, and then did it again the third month. That's when I got hurt, and I have not been able to run as well since. So
that's my biggest fear, getting injured.
But I know, but back when I was doing marathons, like every year, I could eat anything I wanted. And my friend John Burt, who had the sleeve surgery, he used to take trees down for a living. He'd climb trees, cut them down, and when he stopped that's when he gained all the weight.
I mean, you're burning calories, everything you do. I don't think I sit at all day long. I mean, I keep myself so busy that I can't stop and think, I mean, maybe not healthy, but about eating for the most part. I run an in-home daycare. I have my own craft business. I'm a hairstylist. I concentrate on working out and taking care of me, and then I have little kids at home that I watch. My husband travels for work. I'm doing this alone a lot of the time, and I just, it's just the want, I guess. And you've totally inspired me with the running, because that's what I'm working on right now is my endurance.
Well, I saw one of your posts where you did a 5K, and I'm like, wow, she did really well. I was like so proud of you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's hard. I'm a short distance runner, like soccer player is short. I don't like long runs, and so I'm trying to get used to it and work on that right now, actually. Tomorrow is my 4K run on my list to do, and I've never run 4 miles. I think I stop at 3 every time, so we'll see how that goes.
I'm just remembering back to the days when I was a fitness professional. We learned about muscle fibers, and some people have fast twitch muscle fibers and some have slow twitch muscle fibers, and the ones with the fast twitchers are the sprinters. The slow twitchers are people like me, where I can do the distance, but timing really don't do well.
Nope.
And I just keep getting slower and slower every year. So
no,
I'm like, but I'm not on the couch. I'm out there.
Nope. And I've seen your post and inspired by your running, and I was just talking to my husband before we came, and he was like, she is quite the runner, and I was like, I know, I've seen, like, she runs, and good for you, because I just can't run those miles. But a marathon is on my list of things to do on my bucket list.
You can do it.
Half marathon.
Well, I did 2 half marathons. I don't want to run a marathon. I did the second half marathon. I don't want to do a marathon. And then I did a marathon. I'm like, oh wow, I did a whole marathon, and that was just because there was
amazing.
no I could take my time.
Yeah.
There was no pressure. Just go and do it. Your mind drifts off. You talk to the other runners.
I know, that's what I hear. A girlfriend of mine is doing the Boston Marathon this year, and she lives down the street from me, and she's running every day, and she's like, I just ran straight for 70 minutes, and she's like, without stopping. I was like, oh my gosh.
So to
get to that time.
Started running when I was 35, and at the time there was a mom that I'd see her at the school. We'd pick up our kids at the same time, and she was in shape. I'd see her running, so we were talking, but she never thought about doing a marathon or even a half marathon. But today she's Iron Woman. She's like Iron Woman times I don't know how many times. And
I love that.
Yeah, and then I'm on one of my neighbors. She also, always in shape, always looked great. She's one of those people where she doesn't have to flex for you to see her muscles. She can just go like this and you see her muscles. And she started running. She said, well, if you can run with 6 kids, then I can find time. And now she's like, runs every day, no matter the weather. And she's done this consistently for over 2 years. Every single day she runs.
That's fantastic.
And I think I can't think of the word, sponsors. I think she has sponsors for her because she's so good at what she does. So sometimes all it takes is seeing get inspired by somebody.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
People are going to watch this show and they're going to see you. And
I hope so. And you know what? I talk to a lot of people and they're like, I just don't have the time. I don't have the time. And I always say, I'm like, do you have the time to go to the bathroom? And I'm like, you make the time to go to the bathroom if you have to go to the bathroom or eat or do certain things. And, you know, I'm like, when you're going to the bathroom, do 15 jumping jacks, do something. You have the time to do it. You just need to find the time. It's the want.
Well, to run a marathon, so the first marathons that I ran, how I found time, I only ran 3 days a week. And in those 3 days a week, I lost all that weight, could keep it all off. I did two of those days were short runs, were maybe 30 minutes. And then one day a week, I went a little longer, so it was usually a Saturday because then my husband was home to watch the little ones, and I'd get up before dawn, I'd go out, and I'd run all the way to Back River Road to Bob LaRue's house. He always had cold water waiting for me, and then he'd point to the dog dish and tease me. I go, all right, help yourself. Thanks, Bobby. But all over town, I know where all the mile markers are, but so every week I would just run a little bit farther.
Yep.
And then once you get past 15 miles, you take 3 weeks before you go beyond that. And it's only a jump of like 2 miles a week.
I know. See, thinking about that is
But
so overwhelming.
So 1 day a week. But you don't start from that.
Yeah.
You start from, you did 3
the
miles
3 days.
already.
Yeah. Oh,
so
yeah. When
then
you break
you're
it down.
Then you do 3.5 miles.
Seems
and then you're
doable,
going to do 4. Yeah. So you just slowly build up because your body needs time to catch up to the training too. But once you do it, your body's trained, you just keep going.
Yeah.
And when you're keeping yourself busy, like you said, you keep yourself busy. That's the key. Is you just can't be lazy.
Yeah.
You guys got to keep your mind going.
Always moving.
So.
Yeah. Healthy lifestyle.
And this is the
Role
time of
model
the
for the
year
kids.
because
Yeah.
it starts in October where you have the Halloween candy, and then you have Thanksgiving, and then it's Christmas time, the day after Thanksgiving, all the way up until New Year's. And then it's, oh my Lord, what am I going to do?
Yep, that's what happened. And then it's like the depression from the, you know, the gloomy weather, and it gets so
and the
dark
short
so
days.
early now.
I know, the sun goes down and I go down.
I know. That's how I've been feeling lately. I'm like, it's 4 o'clock, and I was like, I feel like we should be getting ready for bed.
I do. I go to bed early, and then I wake up in the middle of the night. So I'm like, oh, okay, I can get up and I can cross stitch and work on my Christmas cards,
In the
whatever.
middle of the night?
Yeah.
There you go.
Like, well, as long as I'm
Whatever
awake,
works.
I might as well
Whatever
do
works
something.
for you.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. I go to bed with my kids as well.
These short days, they're killers. But then in January, the days start getting longer.
Yes,
So.
which I'm excited for.
So, and for winter, I have Yaks tracks. They go over your shoes. They fit right over your shoes, and they have spikes.
Yes.
And my neighbor that runs every day for over 2 years, she wears those too.
And you'll be running in the winter?
Yes, so I'll be like, before dawn, and the lights are all out, and I see a blinking light go by. That's her.
Your friend?
She's out running. Yes.
Can I find her and run with her?
But she runs high. During the winter, I prefer running at night because the sun has been out all day on the street, so the street's not as much ice. So I'll get home from Concord, I change, and I'll just do laps.
For you.
I don't really like holding the flashlight more than 3 or 4 miles, so I try to get out just before dark, so I at least get 1 mile in before I have to put the flashlight on. But that works out better for me. But
Find your way, find your path to get it done.
Yeah.
I love that.
So we only have 3.5 minutes left. This just went by so fast. So let me ask you again about food, because that's really important. I'll do cleanses. I'll just do like a week of where I'm eating really, really healthy, and then the cravings go away until I fall off the wagon. So do you have like a special diet?
So I fast until noon every day. I do not eat until noon.
Well, what if you're one of those people that gets up at 10?
Like gets up at
10 a.m.
10 a.m.?
Yeah.
I don't know those people.
Yeah, I don't either, but I heard they're out there.
So still, I mean, you're still fasting when you're sleeping. So if I stop at 7 p.m. at night from eating, I won't eat until noon the next day, and I start myself with a shake. And I put everything in my shake. I put greens in my shake.
Yeah.
I do collagen. I try to eat very, very clean. Like I said, I'm human. I fall off the wagon sometimes. I feel like everybody does. They get that craving. But for the most part, I am a healthy eater. I do eat clean. I try to eat organic, a lot of stuff that I feel myself is important to eat organic. I know everything organic you don't really need. But so, yeah, I just try to eat the healthiest I can eat. Like I said, shakes, I really get my protein in. I was counting my macros.
What's a macro?
Your macros. So the way you calculate your fats, making sure you're getting everything in, your proteins, your fats, you're calculating everything to get all the nutrition that you need for your body, for your weight, for what you're trying to do, so that you have the energy. So I have the energy to run and to work out, and I'm awake in the morning and I feel strong instead of not feeling strong. I don't drink coffee.
Oh.
No.
Oh,
I do.
No, it's sacred. I drink coffee.
Natural caffeine. I just try to stay pretty much natural and get my vitamins in. I feel like when my vitamins are not there, I'm not feeling good.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling good about myself. It makes a huge difference about what you're putting in your body.
And another thing to remember is that muscle weighs more than fat.
Yeah.
So I beat myself up. I get on the scale.
No,
I'm like,
you throw away
okay,
the scale.
I weigh right now as much as I weighed when I gained a lot of weight, like in 2016, because I wasn't running. I was in Concord all the time, and I gained a lot of weight. And I weigh the same, but I'm wearing a smaller size clothes.
Yep.
So
I know.
That
we've like I said, I have my group. I've surrounded myself with like people that want to better themselves. That helps me. And we say all the time, throw away the scale. We show images of people that.
But sometimes I feel like I have to see that number to get for the motivation.
So if you're like set off, you're like, okay, okay. So you see the scale go down. Okay, then maybe weigh yourself once a month. Or measure yourself with a tape measure, or just the way your clothes feel on your body. You know you're losing weight because
my favorite time to weigh myself is after a long run. Because after like 10
out.
miles, I'm like, okay, not so bad.
2 pounds down. Yeah, no.
The worst time to weigh yourself is in the middle of the night because weight goes up at night. There's a lot of weird things.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try not to
but scales are just
weigh myself.
Evil.
They really are evil. They truly are, because you could look like you're, I don't know, bigger than you are, but you're fit, you're muscle, and I mean, it just varies. It's all over the place. I just feel like the number is not a good mental.
The year went by really fast, and this show went by really fast too. Because we're out of time, and I'm like, I can't believe it. But
I appreciate you
I wanted
having
to
me
tell you how proud I am of you.
Thank you very much.
I think you're beautiful, and
Thank
you're
you.
an inspiration.
Thank you.
I kind of want to go do that Killington thing with you, but it might kill me actually.
Hey, it's teams, so we can team up. We can help each other.
Okay, I'm gonna think about it.
Okay, sounds good.
And Merry Christmas to Merrimack and Happy New Year. And I hope that you were inspired by this show. And let's all get healthy in 2023.
Absolutely.